stuff, guys, and it's been 2 weeks. So
I know, right?
All right, here we go, baby. Here we go.
I'm stoked. I hope y'all are stoked too, and we should just get into it because we're gonna be here for 3 hours.
We're gonna be here for a long time. Probably won't have a whole
what's
lot
up,
of time
Olivia?
for Q&A, but we'll see as we progress.
What's
through
up,
the show
Impulse?
We do have a lot
Yeah, we
to
just
talk
got
about.
started,
And,
so we'll see what
let's
happens.
kick things off with Kali, and as I get everything set up, Pon, do you want to give us
Make sure,
the TLDR
yeah,
on Kali and Smite 2 and how she's gonna look as I get things ready?
Yeah, so Kali is the traditional chainsaw assassin, the one that you want to build a chins on, just auto attack a ton. And yeah, we wanted to bring her over. We have a lot of cool things to make her feel a bit better. So the first biggest thing is that she's actually a hybrid scaler as well. So she has a ability playstyle path focusing on intelligence.
Yep.
And she has her in-hand focus style focus on strength and attack speed. So that's the first thing you'll notice about her is if you want to do more ability damage, you're going to go more intelligence. If you're going to go more in-hand, you're going to go strength. And to facilitate the fact that you want to do some ability damage,
There we
she
go.
only has really 2 damaging abilities. Her ult does damage, but her 3 hasn't done damage before. It now does deal damage with a new feature on her passive called Rupture. So I don't know if we're in game and we can see.
we are.
We are. Yes.
So you can see the little circles
What's
underneath
up,
the
BK
character.
Paul?
As you deal auto attack damage, as you hit people with your 2, as you hit people with your first ability, you'll
Looks like
gain these
everything's
stacks
working
on
out good.
targets. And then you can consume them with your 3 to do a burst of damage, and you get a burst of healing based off that
Is
as
this
well.
gonna look better like
kind of siphon
that,
off these
or-
rupture stacks off your targets
Yeah.
and do quite a bit
Like
big burst
that.
of damage. This is good for you if you just want to sustain.
Either way, I guess it doesn't matter, does it?
But if you actually go pure intelligence scaling, this thing can chunk.
Oh yeah.
So,
You called it out, intelligence scaling. So she's gonna be hybrid scaling, correct,
Yes,
Pon?
hybrid scaling. Yeah, so we got the full-on hybrid scaling treatment. Her abilities have mixed scaling depending on what
What's
we
up,
want to focus
Blue?
on for that specific ability.
Well,
Her
waiting to
healing
see.
and her
They haven't
damage
said
are more
nothing yet.
Focused, whereas if you're going to go more in-hand on her, we know that she has an attack chain that's really good for that. So her strength scalings are about what you expect.
I'm
to see.
waiting
They're
for
not
her to
really
say,
crazy high
"Here's the auto
because
build
she gets
system."
all that stuff from like chin size, which actually we'll get into. Chin size might not be
Oh,
your
yeah.
fault anymore.
These times they are changing.
But yeah, she has the overall core of her kit is very much the same from Smite 1 to Smite 2 in regards to you want to mark your target with your passive, you want to try and jump on them, get the kill on them to get the big burst of heal and the bonus gold. Your 1, you can leap on low health targets to get a heal. Your 3, you can still stun.
What's up,
and so it
Batman?
gives you strength and intelligence now.
Yeah, everybody's
You have
interested to
target
see what they're
pressure,
going to
select
say about
targets
this auto
as well.
build thing. I know
All
I
that
am.
stuff that you know and love from Kali is still there.
I know I
But
am.
This extra rupture mechanic on top of what we had before just adds an extra layer of different playstyle to her and gives her an extra reward to shoot for when she's like fighting on target. So
Yes.
the biggest thing to note is if you 2-1
Yeah,
someone,
Kali's supposed to be
your
pretty
2 each
strong, man.
projectile will give 1 stack of rupture
We'll
and
see.
your 1 will meet
I don't really
3.
play her.
So you can actually really quickly stack this
Oh,
up
yeah.
to burst. So if you're gonna go all in on someone, that's kind of your
What's
all-in
up, Olivia?
tool.
2-1-3 to consume those
Again?
stacks of
Yep.
rupture. Yeah.
And then
then-
the red indicates your target.
Yes, the red pip, which this is all, and we should mention this. This is still
Where's my
some
hello?
of this temp, So I know, for example, in this version, the 2 projectile, the middle ones looks a little bit weird. We still need some art paths on some of the things. I believe she has some new artwork coming in as well, which is
Yeah, right?
on the screen.
Auto
Yeah,
build.
so her card
Auto
art, this
builds.
is the old card art. She does have new card art with her tongue out and red eyes.
Auto
So,
builds.
And-
Auto builds.
And as chat has mentioned, she does have a skull instead of these traditional incense, and she does have skull necklace.
You know they're going to probably save that for last.
Point of view, but you can
That's
see
our
the,
luck,
the
right?
skull incense holder.
Yeah,
Correct,
there's
yeah.
also she also doesn't have high heels anymore, which was a
Yeah.
weird thing about the old model.
yeah.
And if you back, you can like see the front of her. She also now has like abs. She doesn't have like cloth over her middle. So yeah,
Lots of model tweaks as well there, which is really cool. Just one other small subtle thing is the ult also now ticks a lot faster. That's
nice.
also because you apply rupture stacks with each tick, so it's a really good way to build that up. It also fixes like this is a small micro pet peeve that I had, which was as you rank it up, the duration gets longer, but because the tick rate was bigger than the duration you got, you actually like didn't get the full amount of ticks based off the duration extending. So now that actually maps. So every single rank you upgrade, you'll get an extra tick functionally.
Yeah.
So just a nice touch there, but yep, Kali coming to Smite 2. I think the int build especially has been a lot of fun to try, and you just kind of dive into the middle of the team, pop your ult, and then try and siphon as many people and just do a huge burst of damage. And it also makes your healing really, really good as well.
For sure.
Get to
yeah.
good
She
stuff. Get
she has been
good.
doing really well in our
Yes.
playtest on a variety.
Reminds
of
you of
builds, right?
Skyrim.
Yes.
I've seen crit Kali, I've seen on hit Kali, I've seen int Kali, and like they all have their own unique twist on how you play her, but they all work.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's been really cool to see. I think that she's been a very successful character so far.
It's probably a little strong in our test.
Oh, maybe a little strong right now. The other thing, the one design change I will note.
Oh, yes.
Is that you want to talk about it? Go for it.
Yeah. So one
Dude, she
change
has a
that we
bleed
had in Smite 1
with
towards the end of
scaling.
Smite 1,
That's crazy.
Where we had Kali get the ability.
Did she have a
to
bleed with
select a
scaling in
target
Smite 1? I
with
don't
her
remember. I
bleed.
don't even play her that much.
That's one that we know there's feedback on Kali and target selection, and especially like in the middle of a fight where it's really hard to like change your target because you need it back to base, or it might select someone you don't want. There was an effort to make it so that it was more accessible to select a target. But that does have its own downside path of
Yeah, I really
sometimes
never
you
played her
loop onto a
myself
target, you
either.
clip the edge of the support that is full health, and now instead of chasing down your kill target, you've completely swapped it. So we made the decision to remove that functionality. So now it is back to the traditional sense of you have your kill target. When you kill your kill target, the next closest target becomes that. You can back to base to interact to be able to select your new target. So instead of a targeter popping up, you have the interact functionality. And we are looking at ways to improve that because it is something that, like, when we added that to Smite 1, it was to solve a specific problem, which is it can feel really hard to actually select a new target, but it has its own set
make
of
sure I
side
got
problems
the
that we need to resolve as well.
best
So we're
resolution
going to look
here,
for
'cause
ways
they
to
look
improve
good.
that
Oh, yeah,
still.
it's
So going forward,
1080p.
we're going to continue to look at ways to do that.
Yeah,
but just
I guess
coming
they
into
stream at
Smite 2,
1080p.
that functionality is not there.
Yes, so correct. So for the TLDR, that Smite 1 change.
Unlike
to where
us
you
that
could
streams at
change your targets by leaving on
1440.
them, this is not in Smite 2.
Correct.
Yeah, and she, she still has her stun. She still has.
Yep.
She's still the Kali you know and love. Not like, I guess original Kali was a little bit different.
Come on,
See,
dude. Get the
that's
good
my
stuff.
OG
Get the
Kali.
good stuff.
That's the one that I played way back
Yeah.
in the day. And actually, it's kind of funny because it does harken back.
Dude, I
to
just hope they don't
design, 'cause
over-engineer this
her
auto
03
build
used to
system.
be
I really
purely a
do.
siphon. And she had ways that when she hit people with her,
if they make it too
she could
complex,
stimmer with her 1 to make her 2 bleed to then.
it's not going to be
conceal it.
good.
That loop was also like a little bit.
Unless
weird to
it's
get
like
rolling
really
as
good. You know
well.
what I'm saying?
But we
Unless
kind of
like
brought that
making it
back in this
complex
version
made it
while
more
keeping the
user friendly,
things
then
that
it'd be
people
all
like
right.
about current Kali with the
Sometimes when they over-engineer stuff,
the
they
chainsaw play style.
alienate new
And I'll
players.
say,
Although it's good
are
for content
some of
creators,
those
it
guys
just
are
gives us more
why
videos to
Kali?
make, right?
Why did you pick this god? And I think that the two key reasons are that we do not have a real auto attack jungler in the game right now.
Correct.
And we wanted to get a real auto attack focused jungler in the game.
Yep.
I think Nemesis can be, but she's kind of a little bit more of a mix, I would say. And
She did have a bleed. Yeah, I remember she did have a bleed. I just didn't know if her
obviously she's
stuff
one of the
scaled.
best known gods in the game.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Not
like
too many
her up as
people
the first
play
character.
Kali in arena.
and
I mean,
she's just,
and the ones that
kind
do
of one of
play
those
her,
iconic
they're
Smite
usually
characters,
pretty
right?
good, like really,
I
really
think,
good,
from
or
a
really,
gameplay
really bad,
perspective, we
right?
felt like we
There's
needed
usually
an
no
auto
middle
attack
ground,
jungler in the game, which is why
Yeah.
she was.
which is
prioritized.
interesting. It's like one of those niche
That
type
is
gods,
Kali.
like
I'm
a
gonna keep us
nemesis,
moving
right?
Here. And while we're on the Conquest map, I'm going to mosey on
What's
over
this?
to the Fire
What's
Giant
this?
pit and see if we can find something new here. So these are the Fire Brands. This is an all-new objective on the solo side of the map. These spawn at 3 minutes, and they're a little bit on the tankier side here to kill. Let's see if I can mow them down here. It'll take a little bit, but kind of alongside the Naga camp.
Yeah,
but
they announced
this is
auto builds today.
a new
Then I'm going to be
objective
shooting
just
for
add
a
little bit
video
more content
stream
into
tomorrow.
the solo side of the map. And after
I've been worried that the auto
Yeah, I know-
build
I know
was
there's a lot
going
of
to
discussions
be
around making
too
sure that you
complex simply
explain
because
felt
it's
like they
taking
had
so long.
things to test
Yeah,
over,
and
things that
what
felt
worried
like
me that was going to be
brought
too
them
complex
towards
is
the
how they were
versus
talking about
being
it.
too
You know what I'm
thrown
saying?
from the map.
About adding
Just
like
things that gave reasons for people to actually go
import
for
options and all kinds of craziness. So we'll see how how it comes out.
But like Gold Fury,
I would have been
the
fine with the
certain
standard
amount
auto
of the game
build
that
like they
really
had in
takes
Smite
into
1.
effect.
That would have been
So
good
this
for
is a
me.
nice thing on the solo side that really incentivizes the solo laners.
But sometimes when people try to make things too good, they ended up digressing and making it really bad.
Which you can pick them up
But we'll
normally,
see what
but this
happens,
gives you
man.
a whole extra new way of doing that.
Exactly.
We'll-
And just gives,
we'll
like,
keep
each one
positive.
more
We'll hope for the
side of
best,
to
right?
Focus on that's more
We'll find out here shortly.
Yeah, and the other thing that's kind of fun about the fight is that when you kill one, the other one like kind of heals.
Yeah, you saw. Yeah.
So you want to try and kill them both at the same time. It's kind of fun to try and get that done. It's a little bit of a fun fight because of that.
Yep. So yeah, each one will spawn 2 of the fire shards that you can pick up that give you the stacking.
I am going to be upset if they don't
and,
talk about it
strength
though.
boost.
But they, I
So,
think they
plus
did. In
2
the
strength,
intro, they
plus
said they
2
were.
intelligence per
So.
stack. So you've got the 2 that spawn normally, then you've got 2 from each of the fire imps. So you can get 6 total if you're doing these rotations on cooldown. Can really, if you're controlling these, can really towards the late game turn the tide for sure. Get you a nice little boost.
Yeah.
Something else fun on that side of the map early.
Yep.
And the icon that it's using is the icon that's over the camera. So.
Build sharing feels
then,
like it
one
could
other
be
thing that we
weird.
wanna talk
Yeah,
about
for sure.
On the solo side of the map, the totem
Well,
crew
and see,
is
what's going to
getting
end
a
up
little bit of a
happening
change
is,
here. So
depending on how they do it, if they do some type of thing where you can just pull builds, people, you're going to have trolls out there that are just going to just flood it with a bunch of crap. And people are not going to know any better, and they're going to be trying these builds that are going to be jacked up.
Per stack.
Because you know how people are, dude. You got people that will do dumb stuff on purpose just to be trolls.
Yes.
So yeah,
But
this gives
I mean, it is what it is. People know what they like and dislike. So
but it did cause some
all you gotta do is just try it and tailor to yourself, just like any of the builds I do, right?
Not actually what you want to have.
Try it out, and it works for you. It works for you. If not, you just tailor it or trash it all together.
Complications around the Totemaku effect that were there before, but now it's just you fight over it.
But what I'm really hoping for is a ability to make multiple builds. We can have like a defense build, heal build, and a high damage build. So when you zone in, you see who you're playing against, and then you can go into your shop and pick what build makes more sense for that scenario. That would be awesome.
Playtest where like somebody's starting it and then like somebody else is coming over to help, and then they actually
hopefully nobody gatekeeps their builds.
They want the buff to go on the other person.
Yeah.
I do videos on my builds. What are you talking about? You got video evidence that I share my builds.
And it's just for the person that does the most damage to it on the team that captures it.
Yes.
So it's not for the whole team.
The only ones that I keep to myself are the ones that I use for survivability.
Change section. I'm going to bring it
So when I get all the freaking
one more conquest thing.
all the freaking people out there trying to focus me, they don't steal my build
Because I was out on Friday, we didn't get everything.
or know how to counter it.
No worries, no worries.
But so the one other thing that we do have coming in OB8 is a little bit of a comeback mechanism tied to objectives. So
yeah, that was my
team is behind.
Well, see, if you were on stream, then you're good. See, that's what's so awesome about being on my streams. You see firsthand what I build, so it's not a secret from y'all. It's just a secret from the rest of the world.
Up to a maximum of 8,000 gold. Yeah. And it's exponential. So if the teams are
so it benefits to watch our streams, right?
Not a lot of difference.
You get the inside scoop.
You aren't going to get much bonus gold. So if it's like if your teams are like 2,000 gold apart, you might get like 4% bonus gold. Yeah. But if it's a bigger lead, then it might help pull it back to where the team has just when they're working with this bonus gold and people get more gold being at the back, I think that's setting up for Robin Hood, dude. I think we might actually see Robin Hood one day.
Yes.
Because that's what it's sounding like. That same system could work for a Robin Hood type, steal from the enemy gold and give it to the poorest person on your team type mechanic. So that could be a hint, man. That could be a hint.
Let's go ahead and look at Kali's Ascension Pass, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, bringing us up here. So we've got the Shadow Skin, of course, as the buy-in reward for the Ascension Pass. Looks really cool.
Yeah, looks great.
Yeah, you can get a better look also at the model now. The model changes.
Oh, yeah, I can't rotate.
If you leave and come back, you probably can.
Well, I can't leave here. One second.
Rip.
I'll bring it back. Let's see. And come back. And nope, still no.
Okay.
Unfortunate.
Sorry, chat, but bringing us back here. So that is her Shadow Skin.
I was actually expecting a
And
call
then
from my
her
dad
first,
today. He wanted me to go out on the boat with him.
tracker is marked target kills. This is a good one. The amount of kills that Kali has made on marked
Which I
targets
might still do
after
after
using
this.
her marked for death ability.
Yeah, this is like the one that like when we talked about like trackers, it's like, well, this would be like the obvious one.
Obvious for sure. Then you've got your mastery emote. You've got your clap. Objectives destroyed.
Yeah, and you see the art says temp because, as we said, we are updating that.
Yes.
This is not the final. She will have her tongue out and red eyes, and reflect the model updates. Basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stuff up here so I can make sure my stream's
debilitated
good.
stacks tracker. This tracker is the number of rupture stacks that Kali has consumed when healing with incense. So kind of playing into that new playstyle with the rupture passive.
Yep, which we also, I need to make a note to change that because debilitated was our working title for this internally.
Okay.
It did get to update to rupture
Well,
stacks.
as y'all know, this weekend we will not be streaming because I won't be in town. I'm going out of town on Friday. Won't be back until Monday. So, but I'm bringing my iPad with me, so I will be doing some homework while I'm up there in the backwoods of Mississippi. So hopefully, when I come back that Tuesday, we might have a stream, and I'll have some builds hopefully to try to implement. And then I'll probably kick off a couple of videos next week too. Well, at least film them, right?
Next up, her global emote. Kilgoon said
so
that,
if you see me in our Discord saying, hey, I'm about to log in, if anybody wants in, there's probably a good chance that I'm about to go in and start testing some videos. I mean, some builds for some videos.
Man, that's a spooky global emote. In the
Hope I have fun.
The other day when we were
when I go to Mississippi, it's usually not fun. It's just visiting family.
The Destroyer.
But this time I'm taking some furniture with me to get out of my garage, so I guess it's good.
God kills. Again, the card art.
I guess it's fun. It's always fun.
Mastery badge isn't quite ready yet, but we will show off the Radiant skin for Kali.
Yeah, this one looks really sick. I love this one a ton. This is the one I'm going to be.
Good thing is my father-in-law has gigabyte Wi-Fi in his house, so that's good. Even in the back.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah.
Cerberus tank build for sure, and a bruiser build for sure. I'll definitely be working with Cerberus this weekend.
That is Kali's Ascension Pass, and as chat called out,
this weekend I'm going to be looking at Cerberus, Nuwa, and Cuckoo right out of the gate.
Right?
And then I'll probably go to my go-tos, which is Cupid.
And it is a feature that took.
And then we'll see.
Basically, there's
but Cerberus, Nuwa, and Cuckoo for sure. Those are the three I'm definitely going to be looking at this weekend.
Because we needed to first establish the concept.
I'll check out the
databases.
I still got to check out the items because there's been so many changes to items.
Okay, well, we have to do the work in the game to hook up with the
it's a lot.
But I need a build for Big Serve. Those builds they had for Big Serve were not good, dude. The tank one was okay, but the bruiser one was horrible.
It's a big arc of work. I don't want to overhype this because this is the first version of this.
Yes.
So a lot of the UI design is still kind of work in progress.
Temporary,
But we wanted to make sure that there was a way to create and save and share builds as soon as possible.
Okay, here we go.
So we'll probably continue, we will definitely continue polishing this up into OB9 to make sure that it's prettier and has some there's going to obviously be some bugs with this in the first iteration. But again, we'd rather get it to you, get your feedback on what's working, what's not working, what's missing, and then continue to iterate it versus being here, guys, here's a finished product.
We're just going to
hold it, So, let's switch to show it off. Click on it first before we go back.
We're
already back. Just click on it.
Yeah, just click on it.
Ready? All right, cool.
Okay.
Boom.
Okay, so this is what we have so far. So it's pretty straightforward. You'll land on this screen, which shows your builds, and you don't have any builds created. So if you click to create a build, then you can make a build. And the two things that you have to fill out are starting items and final build.
Yep.
There's no verification on it to make sure that you have put in an actual valid build. But you do have to put both of those of those in. And then you can also put in a skill order.
Cool.
The skill order does verify, so you can't skill things up beyond where they could based on the level.
Yes.
Right? And then if you click on add entry,
it's rough. It's a rough.
New fields that have whatever description.
It's still rough. They're gonna fix it, I'm sure.
Title, a description, and then a long description. You can put quite a lot of text into the long description, so you can explain to people hey, build Divine Ruin if you're against Aphrodite. You can get as complicated or as uncomplicated as you want. On the builds that I have made personally, I have my third section is usually buy wards, idiot, and then it's literally it's just sentry wards and regular wards as a note to myself because I frequently forget to buy wards.
Right.
When it's right there as a thing, buy the damn wards. Right.
Exactly.
It's pretty easy. So it's pretty straightforward. So if you click on one of the items,
let's see here. We'll do the starter item first.
Yeah. So it'll show you the items, and since it's the final build, you probably want to pick the tier 2 of the starter item.
Yeah.
But say okay, we want to start with Bumbasphere.
Yeah, Bumbasphere definitely what you want for Kali.
Yeah, and then you just click and you add the things, and it's pretty easy.
Okay.
That's cool.
So it doesn't take very long to set a build up once you have set up a build, or once you know what you want to do. The other thing that happens as you add things to your build. And I'm not sure this is 100% working yet, but if you go up, just pick something.
Ooh, let's see. I'm going to go a little bit of a spoil there.
Okay, so it looks like it's not updating today in depth.
Okay.
But if you go back to, basically there's the list of stats on the side. If you just click on a square, there you go. So that will update to show, the stats that your items are giving you.
Cool.
Yeah. And we've been having a couple issues getting that fixed, but that should be fine by the time we go live, hopefully. The other thing, if you click on none right there,
none.
Then you pick what mode is this build
okay,
for?
nice,
Yeah.
cool.
Oh,
If you
nice.
click on Conquest, then you can pick which lane it's for.
Okay,
Or
yeah.
which.
Now that's cool.
And then you also can pick if this is for aspect or for non-aspect.
Okay, cool.
Which Kali does not have one, and we probably should have mentioned that on Kali.
Yes, yeah.
We have an idea that we're cooking on.
So you
her
got people that
for,
play
but,
various
it
different
wasn't-
modes. You can have
Yep.
builds
So,
just for those.
It's pretty straightforward. You can add up to 3 extra rows. And yep, there you go. And then once you're done building it, you just click save at the bottom.
Okay, nice.
And
I'm just gonna build
just
a
click a
bunch
couple
of
things,
just
doesn't
random
matter.
things. Yeah, this is not the optimal build, chat.
Okay.
And you said I need a starting build as well,
Yes.
correct? So that's my scuffed final build.
okay.
Starting build. We're still gonna start with this.
What's the starting build
And
crap?
then tier 1s are at the bottom.
Okay.
How would the starting build be any different than the final build? I don't understand.
Yeah, so you'll probably just get the attack speed or axe.
Yep.
And then if you want to put potions on there, you can. You don't have to. And that's kind of it. And then you click save.
Nice.
And then now it's saved in your list of builds.
Mhm.
And it shows what game version that build was created
Nice.
from as well.
Mm.
So
That's a
you
good-
can
that's-
tell
yeah.
how recently this build was last updated.
Yeah.
Now, by default, when you create a build, it's just going to appear for anybody else who wants to see your build in community builds. And if you click pin to store, then the next time you go into the shop, like in game, that build will just be
In the auto
what
build
you
stuff.
see,
Okay.
not auto build.
Okay, just what
But
you
when
see.
you open the store, it'll be like the first tab you see will be that.
Okay,
Or
awesome.
else in match, you can also pick which build you want to use. You just can't make a build in match.
Right. Which that makes sense.
Yep.
Nice, cool.
So it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
And realistically, we know that a lot of people will not be making builds. We expect that most people will just rely on the most used community builds. So
Okay, so I can make
notice
my
there's already
builds,
another build there,
and my builds will stay my
which
builds.
is,
They won't go to
Travis's
community
build
builds.
that
I hope.
he made. I probably
Because I don't want to
wouldn't
share my
recommend this build
freaking builds with the
I've
rest of the
never
community.
built,
Just
never
my
always.
Reapers.
Yes.
Just my community,
either.
right?
He was just goofing around. But you can see this is just an example of another build that you can see. And if you want to use this one instead,
I could pin it to
you
store.
can pin it to store.
Yeah.
Or if you want to riff off of this build, if you click copy to, which is not working yet.
Okay, cool.
I thought it was working today. If you click copy to, then it will let you basically make a copy of that build, and you can either copy that like on this.
See,
same
dude, I knew
drive
they're gonna
and
make
throw
this
color
crap
or
too
you can be
more
like, oh, this
complicated
build
than it
looks
needed to
cool.
be.
wanna
I
use
knew
this
it, dude.
On
Nemesis.
Nemesis.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then you
they're
can
making this
copy
too damn
to
complicated,
Nemesis.
man.
So there's and like the builds are going to be ranked. by
Freaking
the
some
number
good
of people
idea,
that favored
Fairy.
them.
Got into
So,
that damn boardroom
you
and
just-
started
the
running
more
their mouth.
favorites, the more that a build will be pushed to the top, and then you can sort in game based on like it'll sort in game based on like the role that you're playing and the god that you're playing, and if you have the aspect or not.
Cool.
If you want to go in game now, just go enter practice. Actually, should work fine. Then click manual build, and then open the item store, and then click on the lightning bolt first, at the top. So that is your build
Yeah.
that you made. And then if you click on Whip God Builder, sorry. So that's the default build because you
Yes,
didn't have
that
this.
one-
Like,
yeah.
yeah, sorry. So now if you pick one of these and say pin this build, then
Yep, there,
There
it
we
is.
it
go.
is.
Cool.
Shows you
There's
that
your build.
And then also if you did you pick how to level up your skills on this one?
I did not,
Go
no.
to Travis's then because he did. And pin build, and then if you close this, then you'll see on your skills.
Oh, the
there's
little
a little
pin.
pin
Yeah.
that says this is the
one you
next
should
skill
level.
that you should level up according to this build.
Nice. Cool.
So it's I think it's pretty cool. It has a lot of new functionality compared to
So it's not an auto build? Is that what you're telling me?
right? Again, as you can tell, still a little bit early.
Yep.
But we thought it was better to get a version of this out to you and get some feedback on what feels good, what doesn't feel good, what features are
Dude,
missing.
Right.
is this
and then
not auto
continue
build
to
though?
iterate from there. So
Yes.
I feel like it's a really good step in the right direction. Again, not done yet, but hopefully you all are as excited for this feature as I am.
No, I want
yeah.
to see it in action,
Lots of
dude.
big
By the
steps.
looks
I
of
know
this, it looks like it's not an auto build. It looks like you still have to go in the store and click on buttons.
Making their builds, saving them, taking them into game and using them, and
yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Really successful.
Yeah, if you go to you're on something else now.
Yeah,
but yeah, like I literally like I was playing Kali.
Dude,
Athena jungle the other day in a playtest, and I was like, I don't really know what I should build, so I went to, because we don't have like community builds yet because we're in dev. I went to
hell, I could I have a spreadsheet I can look and see what the hell I want to buy. It doesn't help me none. We want an auto build, like, not a freaking
it's ever been to like
a notepad
and follow a build, because I just like I have this build that tells me what I build at the start, tells me what my final build should look like. And then I did my buy wards section at the bottom. So I was like, okay, I got my wards right here to click on. And I was like, this is great. I don't need to think about what skill to level up. Just push the thing.
There you go.
Freaking clown fest.
Integration with auto level and auto build. The reason why we are requiring a starting build and the build path is because we want to integrate it with auto level and auto build, but it's not going to be an OB8. That's scheduled for OB9. So auto build comes in OB9. Pin to build beforehand, it'll just auto build that build for you. So so lots of fun stuff. I'm excited about this feature. There's a lot to it. I could probably keep talking about this for a long time. We have a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff to cover. We're gonna get right into the next one.
Okay, so it's just coming out as
another
I guess auto build, and then they're gonna do auto build in freaking 9. It looks like
getting a really cool aspect. So I'm just gonna hover it really quick, and we can talk about it before I show it off. It's going to be the aspect of combustion. So your basic attacks now ignite enemies, dealing damage over time and stacking. I'm
tell you what, man, this I don't understand why they made it so. They had one job, right? They had one job.
Rain of fire deals
golly, dude, why did they make things so damn complicated?
So our goal is to make him,
nobody wanted something so damn complicated. All they had to do is just a standard auto build like they did in Smite 1. How hard is that? And make it where you can make like 2 or 3 builds and just have them go auto build.
But we wanted to lean into that even more with this aspect. So now this dot, I believe, scales with strength as well.
Oh, wow.
I just don't understand why they make it harder on themselves. It's so silly.
Stack this up really quickly on top of a target, get this dot ticking, and then consume it all with
hell, probably the only people using auto builds is arena players anyway.
And it just gives them a completely different way of
If I played Conquest, I wouldn't use an auto build.
Path, and you can especially do some really cool stuff with
maybe for the first item or something,
because you want to get these stacks
really
fast.
I'm not all that excited either. We're gonna have to wait and see how it works. I'm not gonna get too negative on this just yet. I'm gonna wait, test it out, and see how it works. But I can tell you,
pretty good.
I'm not jumping up and down and cheering. I can tell you that.
A bunch of attacks.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
Way I'm just like,
we'll have to get I have to get my hands on it and see what it feels like.
Or bombs on super short
but
just to consume those stacks, it's super cool.
Just looking at them as they were talking about it, man, they even looked like they're like they knew it was crap.
Just like we've been following for.
Just smile and wave.
Also, this is just a small shout out of the. I love the flexibility we have on the design team right now, where. Like that
black screen on Twitch,
the character to indicate like this, like that's something that we can set up and hook up and get going. And for like these features where it's like traditionally that would have been like, well, how are we going to ever display these stats?
And it looks fine for me. Just hit refresh.
That we have a place that's dedicated for that now. So it's just a nice, cool thing that lets us be more flexible in how we approach characters and how we approach aspects. Just a fun call out.
Yeah, that's sick. So Agni's aspect, again, coming in open beta 8, the players can look forward to.
It looks fine on me on Twitch. Black screen on Twitch.
I have so much to go over. Shall we start talking about new items?
Do a refresh and tell me if it's still black on your end. Because on mine it looks fine.
You just want to start with new items.
We'll do the full spiel.
Okay.
So
at least we can look at the items and menu, right? Yeah, that's a plus, I guess.
Strength of items to make sure that we had room to grow. It addressed a few specific balance problems. I think as people have played out though this patch, we've seen that the game largely feels pretty good. We've had
man.
Bruiser items.
I was hoping for
I think the game feels like it's in a pretty good spot. And our goal now is.
I don't know, dude. We might not be streaming tomorrow.
There is.
I think I'm going to hold off.
Every single game you build exactly.
I'm going to get my hands on it, look at it first.
Probably means our items aren't fulfilling the goal.
See how it comes out, and because
they are answers.
If it's stupid, then all it's going to do is agitate me, and I don't want to have a negative stream. Like yesterday, dude. I was already agitated yesterday, having to restart OBS 20 times.
That puzzle interaction really isn't happening, and that's where a lot of the depth of MOBA comes from. So our goal here is to make that more pronounced. So
God, dude,
an example,
so disappointing.
An example item is chin size. Chin size has always been it does percent health damage, and because it does percent health damage, it's good against tanks and people who build health. but it also does enough damage to also be good against squishies, and so therefore it's meta. It's always meta, or it's never meta,
right?
Because you're either always building it or you're never building it.
Yep.
And you've seen us try and play this.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
that's why I put those Titan talks out there as a VOD, so you can fast forward through all this crap.
Maximum health damage based off the difference.
For us arena players, a lot of these Titan talks is like 1% interesting.
If we're going to have
99% dumbacity.
And it's going to be this one item.
There's other players out there that like conquest and all that crap. So you know what I'm saying? So I mean, at least they get the info they need. But for us, a lot of us anyway, it's like
a situation where it
whatever.
is not the game for it. You are going.
But that's what makes us the unique minority, right?
I literally
in the Smite world.
You were so ahead.
I was really ahead. I didn't realize we'd actually implemented it yet. So I built chins and I was like, oh, literally no one on the enemy team has built.
I'm telling you what, if Smite Arena was its own game, that's what I would be playing. I wouldn't even be bothering with Smite 2. If they had like a game called Smite Arena, then I would be playing Smite Arena.
We are addressing that by making a new item that has.
And they can just focus on building Arena, making Arena good.
This is the one that you're going to build that's more generically good, but it's not going to be anti-tank.
Yes.
And that's the one. So like that's when we talk about specialization. Some items are just going to be stat shifted around. Their passes are going to be made stronger. Their base stats are going to be made stronger. Weaker, depending
aspects are just a way for them to double the god outputs, right? So they're kind of getting 2 for 1. They're getting 2 of the same gods, you know. So it's almost like having 2 different gods.
So that those build passes still make sense.
I guess that's a way of looking at it.
In OB9,
you're getting 2 for the price of 1.
OB9 will have more of it. There's still some things you want to do around pen. There's still going to be gaps in items.
I really hope they do an aspect for Zeus where he throws the shield. I think that would be awesome.
There's still more work to be done, but this is this is again.
Yeah, it was a great minds think alike, right? That's exactly what I just said.
And once again, our playtests, I think, are feeling better every day. Like, I think that this has been a really good movement for the game overall.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm in game. I wanted to show off the 3 new items in game. That way we can show off the icons. And then we've got a big sheet to talk about all the other stuff that's kind of like...
I'll still look at the items and stuff this weekend, though, when I'm up there and with my...
the laptop. And
in
let's
Mississippi.
talk about Ancient Signet first. Going to be our first new item here. And I'm going to hide canvas here. So... Ancient Signet, 2,600 gold, 75 int, 200 max mana, passive. Enemy gods hit by your abilities take 20 plus 10 per level bonus magical damage. This can only occur once every 20 seconds. This cooldown is reduced by 2 seconds for every minion kill or assist. So, Pawn, talk to me about where this item is going in.
So, if you were playing a kind of a low cooldown mage that wants to poke constantly, you're looking at Soul Gem and Soul Reaver.
Soul Reaver hit by your abilities take 20 plus 10 per level magic.
So
this can only occur once. So it's a freaking Soul Reaver. Okay, it's just another Soul Reaver.
Building like eventually
except for percentage of the other guys, it's just 20 plus 10.
Every 2 seconds you could be hitting with your 1, and if you clear the wave, you can hit with your 1 again. The goal here is to make it so that those types of characters have a item that they can build. And then obviously the interaction of you can poke with an ability first, clear your whole minion wave, and then poke again. Add some lane dynamics, what we think is good here. So this is just a generically good intellect item that does good damage when you're trying to fight your opponents, that has a little mini game for you to play to try and optimize that damage more. And it serves as a nice replacement for what traditionally Soul Reaver had fulfilled in this role.
Cool. All right, next up, one of my favorite items from Smite 1. Let's talk about Rage.
Soul Reaver. Told you.
Yeah, so Rage. So Rage gives us a way to give a lot of critical strike to enable critical strike builds. One thing that's always that we only had basically Deathbringer, Musashi's, and Demon Blade. So
they just added
those items.
They just added it back into the game. Same one as we had in Smite 1.
Makes sense. Right. But having Rage be this thing that you build into to really dedicate a whole bunch of crit towards makes it you build towards those items.
Clumsy is in chat saying the stats are incorrect right now.
Oh yes.
Okay.
I was thinking that. I didn't. So I'm coming back from vacation.
So you're looking at 30% crit.
They did shift the item stats around, but the overall the passive there is the main thing we were looking at, which is the stacking critical strike.
That's crazy because that'd be 30% crit it can gain plus the 20% crit. Like that item gives you 50% crit. Is that what they're telling me?
And you get the payoff for it if you can actually get the stacking effect. Rage, people really love from Smite 1. It just really rounds out crit builds really nicely, and when you do actually get it fully stacked, it just feels really good.
Because if that's the case, you just get freaking Rage and one other crit item, you're good, man.
Yes. It's going to be a new item, and this is going to be kind of the other side of Chins, right? Filling that gap.
Yeah, so Tearfang, a lot of strength, very low attack speed, and a passive that does bonus physical damage each time you hit. That
so it's the
has
size.
A unique way
the
of
size.
getting stronger as the game goes
it's
on.
the size. That's what it is.
You get more stacks, and as you level, the stat count can get higher. So this gives you. This is essentially the way for if you
hitting
just
a
want
gun
one
increases
thing
damage.
that is more
This
reliable,
deals by
that isn't
15
really
for
locked
4
to a character's,
seconds,
like, health
stacking
pool.
one time.
This is going to be really good for you, and it has a unique scaling mechanic that's different. And importantly, it doesn't give attack speed on its own, right? In the same way that we looked at the other item, the Ancient Signet, this doesn't, and Rage, right? Rage doesn't give that much strength on its own, but it gives a ton of crit.
Yes.
This gives a pretty good passive proc and strength, but it doesn't give attack speed. You're going to have to get that attack speed somewhere else. So that's also what we're doing in the Specialization Pass, where if this item could have 30 strength, 30 attack speed. And
I'm gonna have to look. Do they even have a obsidian bow?
You pick up,
one-stop shop.
Or what the hell is it?
The build
Odysseus bow?
So with low attack speed, I think the build
I'm gonna have to look.
more interesting.
Those are like one of my favorite hunter items.
Well, I'm going to bring us back to Cam. So those are the 3 new items coming to
Odysseus's
the
bow.
next update. But a lot of other items got some changes and shifts that, give me a second, I will bring up the patch notes document and we'll go through them as quick as we can.
Okay.
So Bancroft's Talon up first. So the passive lifesteal has been increased from 10% to 20%.
Wow.
Health floor.
It's gonna be huge for
This
Anubis.
is the premier lifesteal item. It really should be good at lifesteal, and so it's good at lifesteal.
Yeah. All right, Berserker Shield, an interesting one up next. Going to be getting a reworked passive as well as a recipe change and decreasing the attack speed. So the new passive is while below 60% health, you become Berserk for 8 seconds. While Berserk, you gain 50% protections from items and 25% attack speed. So, and it can only occur once per 8 seconds.
Yeah, so it has also a lot of the other stuff there, like recipe changes and health regen. That's often a consequence of having to.
The attack speed I don't really care about, but the added 30 protections for 8 seconds.
If the passive was like just provided a base amount, it was either too good for carries because
that could be pretty good for Big Serb.
If you actually build,
I mean, Big Serb doesn't care about attack speed, but the added 30% protections at below 60%, that could be pretty cool.
And that's it. So the use case it previously,
but I don't know how it occurs once every
the payoff for this
8 seconds.
So
what if you stay below
and
60? Does it just keep reprocking?
By berserking late game with this item is now just a very different and interesting place for it to be now.
Yeah. All right, Bloodbound book up next. So we have removed the health, changed the recipe, increased the lifesteal, and the active effect. The HP shield scaling has been increased. The cooldown reduction has been decreased, but the cooldown of the active effect has been reduced from 140 seconds to 80 seconds. So that's a big one.
Yep, our goal.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna have to do some research on. I don't know crap about these items, man, because they changed them so much. I didn't even bother looking at them.
It was
as soon as I looked at them one day, the next day it was changed again. Because they're still in beta, so
an active system as a whole, and
it'd be different. They went live.
Kind of everyone built this to be defensive. Now it's not really the case anymore, so we can bring its power level back pretty safely.
All right, similar to Bloodforge, kind of the strength version of the item. So same thing, right?
Yeah, same thing.
All right, Book of Thoth. The item now provides 20 intelligence and 100 mana on evolution instead of the penetration.
Yep, and you'll see a few of these types of changes too, where a lot of the stacking items got.
Dude, you need more pin items. Why would they take that out? We saw it yesterday, dude. Even the builds they had garbage pin.
These stats are going to be pretty comparable because they, especially with Book of Thoth right here, the extra 20 intelligence and the 100 mana plays into its own passive really well.
That's not good, dude.
And so.
I don't like that. I don't like that. That
change.
That
you bought them for is the thing that you're getting, not the potential just extra 5%, 10% penetration that was just on the evolution reward.
Yeah. Bracer of the Abyss increased the passive max stacks from 6 to 8.
Yep. If you can get these stacks going, the payoff should be higher.
If anything, they should give more pin.
This passes. You could make this a 2-stack item that is generically good and you get the 2 stacks very quickly, so you're basically at full power instantaneously. Or this could stack to 8 stacks and you could have a really, really big payoff for it.
Yep. Up next, Cersei's Hexstone, going to be decreasing the max health, decreasing the cooldown, and the damage from the active effect. Now,
dude, I don't know crap about these.
Of your current
I got a lot of homework to do, man.
Yes, which means that if you are
never even heard of that item,
you now actually have an offensive use for that health, which is just an interesting. The previous one didn't have as much interaction as this one does.
Yeah. Dagger of Frenzy up next. Decrease the recipe cost. Decrease the strength from 50 to 35, but the passive buff
that's
changed
a big
from 30% attack speed for 5 basic attacks to 50% attack speed for 6 basic attacks.
Yep, you build it for the active effect. The active effect should be really, really strong. Yeah. I popped it and I was through my 6 stacks like before I even knew it. It's really fast now. Really good for especially the tier thing.
Yeah. Deathbringer helps supplement that crit from rage. We're going to be decreasing the strength, decreasing the crit strike chance a little bit.
I won't be surprised if that Deathbringer. The same thing happened in Smite 1. It went from 55 to 50 to 25. I think it ended up, and it became useless. People stopped using it.
The complete package on their own
because the power you got from it was so minute.
The actual payoff for buying Deathbringer, investing in that costs a lot more worthwhile.
All right, Death Metal, another crit item, decrease the critical strike chance, and the active effect has been reworked. Remove the strength and intelligence from the aura effect. This item now provides 15% crit strike chance in an aura, and increase the attack speed from 20 to 25%.
Yeah, letting your teammates crit is really unique.
Yeah,
and I think that's where this item's gonna have a lot more fun. Like maybe you can now actually your Ymir doesn't actually have to build.
Oh yeah, it's true.
And you can actually.
That's interesting. It gives 15% crit chance in an aura around them.
Demon Blade,
so your teammates get 15% more crit. That's pretty powerful, dude.
Passive attack speed buff,
that's very interesting.
Decreasing the buff duration from 4 to 3 seconds.
Yep. So payoff's higher for the
that looks like something that'd be nice on an Izanami.
Be more active about maintaining it.
Devil's Gauntlet, kind of similar to the Book of Thought change. It's now going to provide 5 strength and 7% lifesteal on the evolution instead of the penetration.
Yep. You buy it for sustain, it makes it better at sustain.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the commentary on these is going to be similar, right? Because it's like we're making it do the
See,
thing
they're stepping away from crit, but they're increasing attack speed. That's what they're doing.
Balancing items, it can be
that's what it seems like. Because all the items they just said, it looks like they got a crit nerf, but added attack speed.
And after a few years,
which is going to counter for rage, because rage on this rage had no attack speed.
Especially after we were going really, really, really fast.
I don't think it had attack speed on Smite 1 either. Maybe it did at one time. They took it away. I can't remember.
This is our chance to really cement, like, this is where we feel item diversity should be, how you should approach item buying. But
see, they're already anticipating how people are going to be building, right? So that's how they're like nickel and diming other items that they know that you're going to use with that rage item.
I'm good at this thing, but I have holes in my build I now need to figure out how to fill.
Yeah. Eros' bow is next on the list. Increase the healing per basic attack and decrease the ally max mark range from 26 to 20 meters.
Yep, you have to stay closer to your target. It was actually kind of hard sometimes because like you could be really, really far away from your target and not even realize that you're getting healed. That just means it's closer, but the payoff's a lot higher.
Eye of the Storm up next. Changing that recipe, removing the physical protection, increasing the magical protection, and increasing the health.
Yep, this just makes it more focused in what it's doing. It makes it more clear.
Yeah, I'm not too happy about the way they're doing this auto build either, dude. I don't know. Like I said, I'll try it out. Before I say anything, I'll just try it out and see.
Kind of the same thing.
But I can tell you I'm not excited right now.
And that's not good. Long enough to get those stacks, you're going to be really tanky.
I thought today was going to be a yay build day, but it's more like a we'll see.
Reflect effect has been increased from 30% for 3 seconds to 40% for 4 seconds, and decreased the cooldown of the active.
Yep. The
passive effect from this item has been removed.
Height of the Muse always had a weird balance problem where when it's too.
Dude, that item used to be very strong on Hercules. The height of the Lehman lion
is always really weird. Making an active effect just makes that way healthier because now they have to try and time it, and you can react to that and know that that window is going to close. And because of that, we just think we're going to go all in on that and make it so that if you decide to continue attacking that person, you better be really confident in your sustain or that they're going to fall over before you do.
Yes. Jade Scepter, the active effect no longer debuffs enemy strength and intelligence, but the cooldown has been decreased by 20 seconds.
Yep.
Don't have a clue what that item does, dude. Well, don't have a freaking clue.
This one's a knockback.
Oh, it's a knockback. I'm sorry.
But yeah, it doesn't do the other things, which just makes more sense. You buy it to knockback. By the way, really good cuckoo. You can knock someone back into your ult really easily. Just a little tech.
Yep. And into your whirlwind as well. Learning Bow, the active effect has changed from firing a single arrow to firing 3 arrows, each at a slight delay that now deals 60% of your basic attack damage each. All the other effects remain unchanged.
Yeah, the single projectile flying forward, we just also thought we have that in a few places. We want to try something a bit more interesting. This actually lets you re-aim it as you're firing it. So if you're familiar with like Circuit 2 is a good example of this.
They are trying to make things snowball as the game goes. But I guess that's how it should be though, right?
Also gives it
you start off weaker and then you snowball into more heavier, more dangerous attacks as players get more hit points and more armor, right?
Enemies who hit you with a basic attack lose 10% strength for 4 seconds, and you gain 1 max health permanently.
Yes. So if you are against a team of a whole bunch of people who's going to hit you a ton, you might want to just rush this item because it's actually going to be really, really good.
Nimble Ring, the passive intelligence conversion has been increased.
Dude, I'm telling you, I don't know jack crap about these items. I really got to do some homework.
For every 30 intelligence to 1 basic attack.
Brian, and we're not excited about it. I can tell you that right now. I'll have the VOD up later so you can look at it, but I mean, they talked about it for like maybe 3 minutes, and the crap they put on the screen was crazy.
And the ability cooldown.
Or it looked very complex. Let me put it that way. And from what I understand, the auto build part of it will not go into effect until the OB9. So OB8, we're gonna get like a god builder. That's more or less like a notepad where you can see what builds you want to build, but you still got to manually do it. And then in OB9, supposedly they're going to implement the auto build portion of it. At least that's the way I understood it. So we'll see, man. Either way, something's going live tomorrow, so we'll check it out then. But I wasn't too excited about what they talked about, man. But we'll see what happens. Maybe I misunderstood it, and it's better than it looked. But it just looked very complex.
And this is a difference only in the positive sense. If I have 5,000 health,
the end result I was hoping for.
I don't get to benefit from that difference. Correct. Yeah. It's only the other way around.
But we'll see.
Now I'm very good at dealing with very high health targets. It has a specific role.
But something's coming out tomorrow. That's the main idea of the story.
You need this item. It's going to
not the auto build portion. I don't think though.
It's gonna.
I think it's just the god builder portion.
They were that tanky and they were stalling you. The previous Shin Sides was
good, hopefully it is. I'm hoping for it too. I'm really hoping for it.
Now this is going to feel like a very
if not, then we all need to make sure we give them their feedback.
Just clarify the description.
Because without the feedback, they won't know they need to fix it.
Change. Soul Gem going to be reducing the recipe cost, decreasing the int, increasing the passive bonus damage, and increasing the passive healing.
Yep, we wanted you to play around the passive trigger of this effect. We want that to be the strong thing about the item. It having as much intelligence meant that it was also just generically good, which is why, especially Soul Gem often was in tons of mage builds because it was just generically good as well as having a good effect. Now I have to play around the passive more.
That big raw.
They reduced the healing on it.
Soul Gem.
Hell yeah.
Soul Reaver up next, similar to Chin's Blade, going to be the intelligence / magical version of this item.
Yes, and I think this one still maintains some of its intelligence scaling as well because mages have different considerations.
You guys hit by your abilities take 0.5%
attack speed scaling work in the way that Chin Size
0.25% of your intelligence of their max
gives it some capacity to also scale.
Cool.
4 times over 2 seconds. Only triggers 1 ability per god
over the next 6 seconds.
And you can tell that
so it's
we
a
also
dot?
want to play a little bit more with health with the Cersei is getting the current health. We want to give you more opportunities to do high health builds and have payoffs for that.
Like I said, I got some homework to do this weekend.
Decreasing the recipe cost, the physical protection and magical protections, but reworking
Spirit
the passive.
Robe. Oh, I love Spirit Robe.
Is enemy gods hit by your hard CC effects lose 5 physical protections and 5.
Oh wow! It has a 6% of your health prop.
You have 150 more protections from items.
It's a heal over time, 6 seconds.
Yes,
so 1% a second.
If you want as a tank to support your team and apply a ton of flat pen. Get a whole bunch of protection items first and then build this, and you can really reduce their armor and their protections.
Transcendence up next, going to be providing 15 strength and 100 mana on evolution instead of the penetration.
Same as Book of Thoth.
Instead of the penetration, why are they taking out pen from the game?
Going to be increasing the passive healing from life.
You know what's going to end up happening is everybody's going to start doing the same thing that happened in Smite 1. They start stripping pen, and then everybody's going to build heavy builds with high CC gods, and that's what you can start seeing in Arena. Heavy tanks that have kits with heavy CC. And that's going to be the meta.
So we want to make sure that
Watch. Mark my words, history will repeat itself. And then what's going to happen? They're going to start going back to the drawing board, and you're going to start seeing Pin come back all of a sudden. That's what happened in Smite 1, dude. These people don't learn.
I'm super excited to see how things shake out whenever this goes live.
Yeah, I think it's gonna create some interesting build challenges. I was actually really nervous about the God Builder feature because I was like, if that doesn't come with this patch, communicating out all the changes, like it's the timing of this is just really nice.
I agree, Blue.
Where people can really theory craft a whole bunch of things. The chin size is a perfect example of an item that would go in like an extra section that's like hey, if you're dealing with a whole bunch of high health targets, you might want to buy this because this is going to be the thing that helps you be more effective against them. And this also isn't us done yet, right? Like we know that we have a few things
they're not learning from their mistakes of Smite 1, which is
we're probably going to go into OB9 with this.
Well, it doesn't seem like they've learned from their mistakes in Smite 1 thus far.
Yes, we have more to do in OB9. There's more things we want to address. There's some
that's what it was looking like to me.
Talking here because I wasn't sure.
Because they're doing the same crap they did in Smite 1. Now watch in OB10 and OB11. How much you guys want to bet that they're going to start bringing Pin back to those items? Watch, because they're going to see and they're like, oh crap. And then they're going to start bringing Pin back. Watch. They did the same thing in Smite 1, dude.
Come out of this balance pass where, for example, let's say there's a build path that we missed, or if for example, maybe our changed with crit items. Maybe crit actually doesn't feel good now because we've actually taken way too much here. We might need to make.
But you know what? I don't even care about that. I want to care about the auto build system.
Sweet. Well, we talked about
let's see how it comes out.
A lot of upcoming stuff. Let's talk about some of the skins and content coming to this update, right?
Let's do it. And we're definitely going to run past you.
Yeah,
we got a lot of stuff still to go through. So I think first up, we're going to look at our one cross-gen skin coming in the update.
I will bring it up here. We have got Cosmic Conjurer Merlin and Kilgoon. There's what's this little thing here?
So UI still is going to do a pass on that, but one of the things
that looks like crap,
is the ability to push a button and hear what a skin sounds like. So
that looks so stupid.
I think they have audio, but we don't have audio, so I think we're good.
Dude. That looks so. That looks horrible, dude.
So voice pack button, you can hear that now. Obviously, you can go into practice and hear them, but we got feedback that people wanted to just be able to click a button and hear a few voice lines. It was easy to get in, so we got that in. And I think the skin looks great.
Gosh, it looks
he's able to move it. Yesterday, I was not able to do that.
The cape.
Hopefully, I can do that now. Because I was trying to look at the Tabasco sauce guy. Maybe in this screen, but not in the selection screen. You can't move stuff. That's what it is. That was my issue.
And if not, you'll be able to buy it. It'll be available for direct purchase, and it might be in a chest too. I don't know, but you can buy it. You can use your legacy gems on it.
I think when I go into the loadout, I can twist them. It's just when we go into the game, you select your guide. It doesn't let you twist it there.
We are in dev, and I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to get in trouble. So next up, let's talk about classic skins come in.
Yeah.
I know this is a fan favorite.
Yes.
Duke Dandelion's on her.
Yes. Rawr.
A monument to his opulence, you know?
Everybody loves the gentleman skins. This is a good one. And we thought it would be a fun classic skin to bring over.
This one is sick.
What you would expect it to be. There's nothing changed about it. It's just the classic on her Duke Dandelion skin, and you can get it with just classic or just legacy gems.
Correct.
Available for direct purchase or in the classic skin chest.
Yeah.
If you look between his legs, dude, it looks like he had his freaking dong hanging.
Coming that I'm super excited.
That was crazy.
I am also excited about this one.
We have got Huckle Khan. Let me get to it really quick. Loadout. Boom.
Oh, yes.
It's a good one.
Void Worm.
Hell
Huckle Khan coming into Smite 2 as a classic skin, and he's got some prisms alongside him, right?
He does. So people have been liking the prisms that we've been doing. As people can see, we keep trying different pricing for him because we're just trying to figure out like what makes sense and is fair to everybody and everybody's happy with.
I don't even remember this one in Smite 1, to tell you the truth.
And one thing I will call out, we've talked about it on the show. A couple people have asked, this is a limited skin in Smite 1, but we talked about it a lot, and we aren't super opposed to bringing over limited skins in Smite 2.
Are you opposed to bringing in our T5 skins? How about that? How about giving us our T5 skins for free?
Right? Look at the prisms because they look
you know, we spent like $1 million on them.
Yet, but this is my favorite.
They do have names, they're just not in.
Not in.
So,
but
at least, give us our T5 skins, man.
This is my favorite by far.
Art really likes the
make the community happy.
The stripes on the wings, like the I don't know what you call them, but like the stripes on the wings, they thought were really cool. And he's kind of got like almost like frost.
Yeah, these are the classic crossover ones. They're the same ones from Smite 1. They just make them look
Next, we
nicer, and
got
then bring them
another
to
one
Smite
that's, like,
too.
more purple and green.
But the cool thing about it, supposedly
Black
they
hits.
they should only cost
This one looks
your
great.
epic gems, or where the hell they call it.
And then another
Not
one,
your legacy gems,
gold
not
and
your
blue.
Yeah, this one was my
diamonds.
favorite.
So
I thought
these
this
should
was
cost
It's
legacy
and
gems,
his
not
tail, when you
diamonds.
look at it from behind,
Yeah.
the
Should.
tail almost looks like it's on fire.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
we'll
that's
see.
it.
This really cool like glowing moving thing going on.
Yeah, that's just
So,
cool.
Yeah, I think that these turned out really well. I think that they again are showing like what we can do with the prism system.
Yep.
So just like before, if you want the classic skin, you can get with just legacy gems.
There you
either
go.
Direct purchase or in the chest. And then the prisms will be available for diamonds, and we don't have pricing for them yet because we have to price it.
Yep.
So
And again,
you can buy the
prisms will
skin with your
change
legacy
the
gems, but if you
color
want to
of the
do a
effects.
prism that
Not quite
changes
done
its
in
color,
this
then you
build,
gotta
so
use
we can't
diamonds to
show them
change the
off,
color.
but,
So that's
did
their
wanna call that
gimmick.
out as something that you can look forward to as you pick up those prisms.
So I mean, it's not
Next
bad.
up, we've got
It's
an
not bad.
all-new skin.
Yeah, one all new skin in this update. And this skin, I believe, will also have prisms, but they aren't done yet. So no prisms to show off today, and if they are done later, we'll show you. Yeah, this Carnival
Kiss Pele.
Oh, it's Pele.
Again, another one of our kind of like spooky clown skins.
Yeah. I
These
think
have always
Spooky.
Izumi
done
has
well.
a skin like this.
She looks
Smite
like a
one.
freaking.
Yeah, 2 or 3 in Smite 1.
They made her look like
so,
some type of.
This people that like this skin
Prostitute
really like
or
this.
something.
This skin has a really cool AO1 effects in game. I don't know if
Let's just go in.
Yeah, let's see. If
I
it
mean, it's
works.
not bad. Don't get me wrong, but. Yeesh.
I saw the work in progress, but it might
I'd
not
love
be
to see the
as-
cosplay on that.
Set me level 20. Get my abilities really quick. Uh-oh, what did I do?
So if because you're in a dev client, so the hotkeys F1
Ah,
actually
there we
enable
go.
debug views.
That's what it was. All right,
yeah.
cool. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Isn't that
that's
cool, that
cool.
little clown?
That's pretty cool.
Oh my gosh.
Shoot
Yeah.
the projectiles back.
Chuck was very excited about that.
That's sick.
Looks
And
like Harley
we don't have
Quinn a
audio,
little.
but I know this has
Kinda,
some cool,
yeah.
like
Oh, that's
creepy
cool.
carnival
A
music
Hispanic
whenever
version.
You're going around. I'm not sure.
A
if Chuck can do
Latina,
it as well, but it's creepy.
Harley Quinn. That's what she looks like to me.
You got some nice purpley VFX. Yeah.
Which is not bad at all.
Yeah, that
This is not
clown,
bad at
Chuck
all.
was just like, you have to show this
Yeah.
clown. It looks so good.
So yeah,
I
that
can
is
hear it
Carnival
as
Kiss
Chuck.
Pele.
That's pretty cool. At least they added
I'm not very
something
good at
extra
impressions,
to it,
but
you
I
know,
hear
with their
people in my
abilities,
head, so
the
I'm
graphics.
glad it came
Yeah.
across.
I think
so
they
I
don't
think,
look that bad.
this game
I'm
gives
just
you
glad they
the
did
direct
something
purchase or an
different with the
in-house
skin, right?
and
Even, you know,
probably
where there's good or
prices
bad, they did
their
something
direct
different with the
purchase
skin.
skins in
Because that's one thing that was driving me crazy. They get these cool skins, and then there's like
the audio's
no
really good,
special
Jeff, so
effects
they
with
can
it,
hear
right?
it.
No
Nice, you can hear
special
it. Nice.
emote, no nothing
I was
special.
worried.
Juggalos rise up. This is not a joke.
That's good.
Come on, guys. That's pretty funny. Though. I like that. That's a good comment.
Funny. Sweet. Next up on my list, Kilgoon. Do you want to talk about quips?
Yeah. Okay. So this is a fun thing. I think it's a fun thing.
Is this what I was hearing in the
This is
playtest
what you're
today?
hearing in the playtest today. So we've added a new feature called quips. So
Yeah, how long before we get, or 10
it's gonna
arms,
be
right?
available
Or a
in
bunch
this
of arms on the
post.
back.
It's going to be
Or
not as
who knows?
expensive as
The
the name color story. We
the
don't have
arms
the
guy might have
contract,
got
we'll
fired. You know
figure
what I'm
that
saying?
out probably
The
tomorrow.
eyeball guy and the
Yeah,
arms
we'll
guy
let you
might
know
have got
what
fired.
But this new feature will let you equip up to 4 voice lines or sound effects. I guess the best way to think of it. Some of them are voice lines, some are sound effects that you can just play, kind of like a VGS, or kind of like a VXG, right?
Yeah.
A VXE, whatever. It's kind of like a global emote. It might not work in.
Do you
jungle
know what
practice.
the
It's
VXQ?
one. Yeah.
I don't know if Chad, if you can
Did
hear
you-
that.
did you
yeah.
equip any?
I did equip some.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Alt F4.
So yeah, so you're going to be able to play just kind of sound effects to react to the things that are going on around you, or to walk by and randomly let out a little fart sound as you run by people.
Yeah, we were stalling around Fire Giant, and the Bologna was definitely making it known that the stall.
They
was
would
not
never do it,
acceptable.
but it'd be
Okay, wait,
awesome. We
Chad
could do
says
our
we're talking
own
over,
sound
so
effects
hold
when you
on,
run by
I'll play a
people.
couple.
Oh, dude, that would be so
hard 'cause we don't have
trollish.
audio.
Because every time I got one of those goofy freaking pug groups where everybody didn't want to do nothing, I'd be like,
All right, cool. Hopefully y'all hear it.
Yeah. So,
I forgot which ones I equipped, so I'm not sure. which
yep,
one
you
it was.
got
yeah,
it.
let me see if I can look.
Oh,
at
I
the
got,
full
yeah.
list.
I had the duck one, yeah.
You have the duck one. The duck one's good.
Yeah.
I'd be
let me
spamming the hell out of that in game.
because they're pretty good. There's going to be 8 sound effects in the first pack. I believe it does work during combat. If you mute somebody, you will also mute their quips if they're annoying you.
Yep.
Or if you turn down like character volume. I think
I wish they had a black book option where you play with somebody that's super toxic. You can just black book them and you'll never be paired with that person ever again. I think that would be awesome. That would be really awesome.
I think it's a cool feature. This is the
because what that would happen is you get all these very toxic players that crap on new players or people that are trying new gods and they're very negative. So if a lot of people end up black booking that same person, that person will never get a queue, and maybe they'll rethink the way they act in game, right?
Yeah, I know. There's like
I think that would be cool.
Trombone. There's there's the ay. There's
they don't have enough players for that.
There's a duck,
right?
Duck. There's
right.
They're pretty good. I think it's fun. So sweet. Yeah, it's a cool feature.
Yeah,
I guess 50% of their player base would be black booked, right?
That we wanted to talk about.
We do have some other things.
A big one is some deserter rules.
Yes. Okay. So, one of the things that we think is
here we go
about Smite 2 and Smite in general is if somebody leaves on your team and they're never coming back.
Yeah, they definitely attract more people.
2 people in your team refuse to accept that you're not going to win. And hold you hostage, voting no to surrenders over and over and over. So we're going to make a change to where if somebody has been disconnected for 5 minutes, which is a pretty long time, somebody's been disconnected for 5 minutes, a message will appear on screen saying, you can leave this match and you won't get deserter. However, if your team loses, you're still going to take an L on your record. If your team manages to win, you will get a win on your record, right? But it will not be held against you. Like you won't be prevented from getting into another game if you're like, we lost, it's over, I'm out. Yeah. So 5 minutes after somebody has disconnected, you are allowed.
So we're gonna make it easier for you to be a damn quitter.
But if you lose, you will lose. Yes. So if your team still feels like they're in it and they can win, cool, right? There have been games where it's 4 versus 5 where
actually, you know what? I'd rather some clown leave than stay in and feed. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's a good thing. Tell you the truth,
right? And those are the games this is meant to prevent. It's meant to, like, I'm stuck for 20 minutes in a game that I am 100%.
But keep in mind, they're talking about conquest, dude. They're not talking about arena. So, everything they talk about is conquest. So I can understand that for conquest, because if I was stuck in a damn 45-minute hour game with a bunch of clowns and we knew we were going to lose anyway, I would want to leave too. You know what I'm saying? So
that's the other change that goes hand in hand with that.
With conquest in mind, 100%, dude.
I think it's a good feature.
Arena? I don't know, dude. I guess it's good too, because that way you don't have a feeder that stays that's like a sourpuss and is just going to keep running into their base like we've seen in the past.
Cool.
So I guess it's good
I have
too.
Something about the dry fire sound.
Yeah,
being
so
updated.
this is probably going to be in for OB8. Cool. Kellen may yell at me, and it's not actually.
But how many freaking 3v5s or 4v5s have you seen our Reaper squad win? You know what I'm saying? Because we don't give up, baby.
Sound because the tone of it.
Video evidence. Watch our videos
to be able to hear. I am failing to fire. Yeah. So this is a before and an after of what the current plan to change the sound is. I think it's going to be an OB8. It might not, but I just wanted to say that we're aware of this issue and we're fixing it. Even if this isn't exactly an OB8, we can take a listen to it.
Yeah, cool. I need to go back to the laptop.
Well,
and I will play.
You gotta remember too. Freaking Conquest is the flagship for this game. Arena is just a training mode, really. It just so happens that's the game that we like, right?
You guys could, and hopefully it's a lot clearer.
That'd be really funny if that was also silent for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the first one was the original. The second one was the new sound. Yeah. Kellen is in chat. So thank you, Kellen.
Nice.
Cool. And then, I'm not recording a voice memo. And then I feel like, cool. That's all I have on that one.
That was all I had for OB8. A big one that we wanted to talk about is tomorrow.
Yes. Okay, so last week, we ran a test of our new movement code in Flash Test. Mm-hmm. This went pretty darn well. We are not seeing any major issues at this point that we think would prevent us from pushing this new movement system live. So we're going to push it live tomorrow. So in live, there will be an
I haven't tested this new movement stuff,
code that we've been talking about for a while. Please let us know how it feels. If we run into some things we weren't expecting, we can always wind it back. But our goal is to move to this new movement system permanently because we think it is just a better thing for the game. And there may be a couple edge cases that we haven't found yet in all of our testing, and we want to hear about those, but we probably aren't going to find them at this point until we just push the thing live.
Exactly. Yeah.
So tomorrow, the movement test is going live sometime, and please check it out. The other thing that I don't really, we will have more of an update on later this week.
Yes.
Max will be on to talk about matchmaking.
So it sounds like tomorrow's update is probably going to be a big one, download-wise.
I will say we very soon should be doing some things to help the top percentage of ranked players that are the ones who are having the worst experience right now. So hopefully very, very soon we will be doing some things about that, and Max will be on to talk about that. So I know that there's a lot of feelings about that. We just wanted to give a quick update that we haven't forgotten about matchmaking as part of everything else we're working on. There just was a little bit of tech work that had to get done, and then some implementation work. So very soon we'll have things hopefully better, and Max will be on to talk about it hopefully this week. So
sweet, sounds good.
I'm looking at my notes. Do I have anything else? I don't think I have anything else.
I've gone through everything on my big sticky note with everything.
I think that's everything that I was set to talk about as well. I think.
Sweet. Well, we are past 2 o'clock, about 5 minutes or so.
That was pretty good, though. I thought we were going to run.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Hey, we did good on times. Kilgoon Font,
Okay.
Thanks so much for joining. Oh, you got something else? Yeah.
Recap. Okay, so we talked about Kali, New God. We talked about the new Firebrand camp in Conquest, plus the reworked Totem of Ku. We talked about the kind of like objective bounty-like system where you can come back if you're really far behind and take objectives. We talked about Kali's Ascension Pass. We talked about the God Builder function, which is huge. We talked about Agni's aspect.
See, God Builder function, not God Builder function auto build, not auto build, God Builder function. So we're going to see what we get tomorrow, dude.
I mean,
I don't think we're going to have auto builds tomorrow. I think we're just going to have it where you can build your build, and then when you go into the store, you still have to click on stuff. You still have to open the store, and you still have to click on crap. You still have to hit your attacks. You have to remember to upgrade your attacks. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be automatic. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's the way I'm understanding it.
For sure.
Yeah. So
and then next OB9, then they'll probably implement the auto.
A lot to look forward to in OB8. And we're just, we're going to keep on grinding. We're keeping making this game better.
So. Yeah, we didn't even talk about God balance, which there is going to be some in OB8. We'll probably go over that on Wednesday or Friday's show.
And I should mention, because a lot of our focus was on items, the God balance is a bit lighter. We did ship some earlier. We had some hot fixes over last week. That doesn't mean there won't be any, but it's expected to be a little bit lighter.
Chat doesn't know what the movement system is. They missed that episode.
Oh, yeah, let's
I'll
talk
give the quick TLDR. Okay, so basically... a lot of the micro stutters that you feel right now in Smite in live are basically like the game, like the server and your client disagree slightly about where you are, and you're getting very subtly corrected with your position, and it feels bad. We have a new system that the best way to think about it is kind of like rollback netcode. It's not exactly, but the server and your client both know when you start a movement, and then they stay more in sync. So like we showed a video maybe a few weeks back of like when you AMA ult, a lot of times you get like hitches at different points in the ult. Now it's just 100% smooth going through it. So any movement ability that you do should just feel a lot smoother. Anytime you like bump into minions and into other gods, should feel a lot smoother. It only affects movement and movement abilities, so it's not going to affect using abilities or anything like that, unless it's a movement ability. But we think it should just make the game feel more responsive and smoother overall. There may be some edge cases that we still need to work out, but we think it's just a step forward for the game at its current level. So.
And someone mentioned, just asking, Aladdin AO3, no, that's a different problem. Bari's bells are not related to that. Yemoja AO1 target, that would be a movement that could be part of this. And Agni's 4 target, which is the self slowdown, I believe. That would be part of this. That kind of like dynamic movement scaling as you fire the ability would be part of this. Just as an example of someone posed 4 different situations, which ones apply.
So anything involving movement or slowdown or, that's another one. It's like whenever you stampede, there's usually like a hitch because the server and your client don't understand the rapid change in speed. and that should feel better. So there's just a lot of little things. So.
Yeah, so make sure you're hopping in live tomorrow and testing out all that movement stuff. Hop in. Hopefully, we'll have a PTS flash test for Open Beta 8. You all can try out Kali
tomorrow.
All the item changes, some of the new skins, tomorrow. The quips, all that stuff. Outside of that, I think we're gonna call it a quick Alani check. I've got Orange Kiss today,
Cherry Twist,
and I actually have an orange one at.
There you go. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and call it for today. Chat, thanks so much for hanging out. Had a lot of stuff in Open Beta 8 that we're super excited for y'all to get your hands on in the flash test tomorrow. Again, try out the live server movement test tomorrow as well. We will be back on Wednesday to talk a little bit more about Open Beta 8, probably some God balance stuff. But until then, hope everyone has a great rest of the day. Peace.
All right, dude. Well, that is it. So the main idea of this story is the fact that we're going to get some, I guess, phase 1 of the auto build system tomorrow, but it's not going to be auto build. By the sound of it, it looks like it's just going to be the ability to build, to organize builds, I guess. And then when you go into the game, you open up your store, and then you can see, you pin the build that you wanted to build, and then you can click on those items and they'll start building that. But you have to manually click. And it looks like you have to pick your skills manually. And when your skills go up, you have that green tack of what to push, F1 through F4 or whatever, of what to push to pick the build or the ability scaling that you wanted, right, in your auto build. Now, from what I understand, I mean, maybe y'all seen something different, but the way I understood it was in OB9, then they're going to make it where they take all the stuff from OB8 and implement it into an auto build system. My guess is they were probably trying to do that for this update, and somehow they ran into some issues. Hopefully that's the case, right? So hopefully they work through that, fix it, and then we'll get it in OB9. But I can tell you that just like I feared, this looks like it's going to be a little too much for something that could have been so simple, but who knows, man. Maybe it'll be the best thing since sliced bread. I guess I'm going to hold judgment until I actually try it out. Again, this is going to go into effect tomorrow morning. I don't know if I'm going to stream tomorrow or not, to tell you the truth. So just keep your ear out if you want to be a part of it. I'll post it on Discord, in our Twitter. If I am going to stream, if I am going to stream, it's probably going to be about 11:30 in the morning. Same as every other day, 11:30 Eastern. 11:30 Central. But I will have it already posted by probably like 10:30 or 11 o'clock for sure, right? At the latest, if I am going to do it or not. So it's all going to depend on what's going here at the house. But anyway, hey, I appreciate everybody coming out. I'm sorry that we didn't get the big hurrah I was hoping for, but maybe they'll give it to us next time, right? Or in the next upcoming update. Hey, appreciate everybody coming out. Again, there's going to be no stream this upcoming weekend. I'm going to be out of town, but we'll make up for it, sometime after Monday. So whether it be Tuesday or that upcoming Sunday, and it will be a giveaway stream. Again, appreciate everybody coming out. I'm Darkgarza, your OG on GC. We'll catch y'all next time.